The M7 sawmill is easy to transport as it only weighs 52 kilograms. You won't even need a trailer. The sawmill can easily be placed on the roof rack of a car with the help of a few planks. Matthias Byström, who developed the M7 model, demonstrates how easily one man can handle the sawmill. The transport planks can later be used as supports for the sawmill. There are several saw alternatives for the Logosol M7 sawmill. A chainsaw used on the sawmill must be really strong, which is why Logosol recommends the steel 066 as the most suitable. Its motor is rated at just below 7 horsepower, and it weighs only some kilograms more than a regular pro saw. It can also be used to fell and limb trees to advantage. Sharp tools are essential when splitting logs on a sawmill. The best way to file the chain is to fasten it like this. A good file gauge makes the job easier. It only takes a few minutes to set up the sawmill. First, replace the guide bar nuts with so-called solo nuts. Next, attach the chainsaw to the saw carriage. You should never stand in front of the guide bar while the saw is running. A shield is fitted over the guide bar tip for extra safety. In order to make sure that the Logosol sawmill stands securely without any risk of tipping, the long and short legs should be bolted down. This is where the planks used during transport come in handy, so long as they extend at least 50 centimeters outside the long legs. The log grip helps hold the log in place during sawing. It's also used to fasten one end of the feed line. There's a guard on the log grip that prevents injury when the guide bar leaves the end of the log. The saw carriage slides smoothly on the plastic sliding blocks. The low friction blocks have long working lives and are easy to replace. Once the feed line has been fitted to the log grip, the Logosol sawmill is ready to go. Even though it's possible to position the sawmill near the logs to be sawn, there will always be some need to move them. Since the logs must be raised a half a meter from the ground, it's best to use some type of loading frame. Smaller logs can be used to advantage. There are many tricks and aids for handling the logs. Several methods for handling logs are shown later in the film. It's not even an hour since the sawmill was taken down from the car roof. The pine has been felled, trimmed and sized. The first cut is completed. There's something very special about sawing your own planks out in the woods. It's hard to imagine a better work environment than a forest meadow on a lovely spring day or in the cold, clear autumn air. One tree will yield a lot of timber. Since many see sawing with the Logosol sawmill as pure pleasure, it's probably not very interesting to discuss how much can be cut per hour or per day But if you're satisfied with cutting of a few trees per day, you'll neither need to hurry nor to work all day. The Logosol sawmill yields accurate measures. The guide bar travels straight through the log, and the variance is seldom more than a few millimeters. The special splitting chain leaves a kerf of around 6 millimeters, or only one more than a modern circular saw. The surface is good, even somewhat smoother than with other methods. The Swedish National Testing Institute has checked the sawmill capacity, calculating that a petrol-fueled chainsaw can deliver 2.3 cubic meters of sawn products in a day. Using Logosol's electric saw raises the yield to 2.6 cubic meters. These numbers match Logosol's own, as well as hundreds of reports from customers with practical experience of using the Logosol sawmill. When Logosol participated in the American Championships in small-scale sawing in May 2000, the numbers were naturally quite different. Our US representative, Roy Bjorklund, sawed 1-inch boards at a speed corresponding to 3.5 cubic meters per day. People in the United States have been impressed by the capabilities of the Logosol sawmill too.
Owners of the M5 Swedish mill have been able to accomplish a lot with their sawmills. We recently visited one such owner in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Mark Harrison was one of the first USA owners of the Logosol portable sawmill. He discovered the capabilities of this unique sawmill and used it to cut framing lumber for his impressive 4,500 square foot home.
You know, I didn't start off planning on cutting all the lumber for my house until after I got to using it, and I cut a good deal of lumber for the porch originally, and then I got to thinking, well, I can go ahead and cut the rest of it. So I sat down with my plan and went over everything and found out, it made me a list of what all lumber I needed to do the framing, and I cut all the framing. Oh, I got better quality lumber out of this than I did if I went to the store and bought it. The quality of lumber that I've got is way superior than what you go buy. And you can tell the difference when you go to put a nail in this and put a nail in that keel drive. That lumber right there is a lot stronger than bought lumber, I can tell you.
Russia is our largest export market, together with the USA. In the Ural region alone, Logosol has delivered hundreds of sawmills, planes, cutters and other equipment. Russia's state railways buy 10 million sleepers each year, which is good business for suppliers who can keep down their costs by using cheap and reliable technology. One of these suppliers, Lesovis, has 14 Logosol sawmills, the first of which they bought in 1997. Half of them are used out in the forests, and the others are run around the clock in a former sawmill. The Logosol sawmill is generous when it comes to log size. When the logs get larger, you just reach for a longer guide bar. No special arrangements are needed for logs as large as 60 centimeters in diameter, weighing up to 500 kilograms. With a reinforced log support and really long guide bar, even larger and heavier logs can be sawn. Nor is the length a problem, as the Logosol sawmill is easy to extend. In 1998, in the US, Logosol sawed the world's longest 2x4, all of 35.5 meters long.
Where they had all their students sign it as a pledge to stay in school, and hung it up and called it their...
The Logosol sawmill has also become a favorite with hobby carpenters. For them, it's often a question of extracting extremely valuable pieces from short logs. Top-class pieces from such sources as fruit trees simply cannot be found in the lumber yards. Even domestic trees like wild cherry and mountain ash come only in short pieces. The Logosol sawmill lets you save much that would otherwise be firewood.